Okay, today. Oh, switch the input, please. Today we've got 1952. Now, what happened in 1952? Well, there was a lot of nostalgia. Um, it's a musical called Singing in the Rain. It all started with MGM producer Arthur Freed, who in his early days, he was a pianist for silent movies before he became head of the studio's musical department. Now, he called that department the Freed Unit. Arthur wrote the song Singin' in the Rain. However, this film was 1952, but the song was written in 1929, again by the Freed Unit, by Arthur Freed. The song itself starts with a 32-bar chorus, followed by a 24-bar verse, and then the chorus again, and so on. There's no bridge, which was it was normal to have a bridge in musical songs at that time. So the whole film arose as a means of capitalising upon the song, with many other songs also written by the Freed Unit all those decades later. The plot of the film features a film star, Don Lockwood, played by Gene Kelly, who, in his character, is in the silent film era, is a film star. And this would demonstrate, as I say, a little bit of 1930s nostalgia in the 1950s. And Don Lockwood, the character, he's a film star. He acts with a silent film star, acts with an on-screen partner, a particularly selfish and unintelligent lady, Lena Lamont, who believes her own studio's publicity that they are both an item, when, of course, they're not. Now, to escape from his fans one performance, Don jumps on top of a bus, then into a passing open-top car, scaring the young lady driving, named Kathy Selden, who's played by Debbie Reynolds. And she turns out to be an aspiring actress, but has barely heard of him. So she drops him off home. The studio has a small party, shows a short information film first, which turns out to be a technical demo of Talkies. Their first experience, these characters' first experience of synchronised sound along with projected moving pictures. Now, most of them in the film dismiss this as a fad. They mention now this is where it gets a little bit meta. They mention rival studio Warner Brothers' upcoming release, The Jazz Singer, 1927, to be the first talkie. Now, this is a 1952 film about a fictional. It's a musical about a fictional musical, but it mentions a real competing studio and a real film that really did exist in 1927 to be the first talkie. Now, when this becomes a hit, which it did, this studio wants to switch to talkies, of course. Now, Don and Kathy by then have become romantically close. They try the next film as a talkie. Now, both Don and Lena take vocal coaching, but with Lena, the problem is acute, as she sounds terrible when speaking. And she has a harsh common accent with a very grating quality, really not good for speaking talkies. With little experience of sound production and a lot of mistakes that are made in filming, for example, not speaking into the mic, actors not knowing where the mic is, not speaking into it properly, moving their heads around, the clothes, props and jewellery rustling into the mic. On a test screening, the audience in the cinema, the vision projection stutters, so the sound and vision get out of sync, which is quite hilarious. Because Lena and a man actor, their lines get transposed. At a later production, they get the idea to have Kathy sing Lena's lines, Kathy hidden on microphone, which was an early form of dubbing, introduced to the audience by this film. They also get the idea that they should not tell Lena that this is happening. The whole story is a bit reflexive in that it is a musical, which becomes about producing another musical, and at a period of time of transition from silent films to talkies, where a leading lady is discovered to have a terrible voice and cannot sing. And as a result, there's an awful lot of songs in this film. Now, it is a musical, but it's a musical about making a musical, and I think there's a bit too too many songs in there for my taste. I mean, it does go on a lot. It's the kind of musical that when I was growing up, my parents would watch this kind of thing, and I'd think, oh no, not a musical, and that really introduced to me the idea that musicals are very boring. But if you come back to this now, it does have a little bit of a technical interest. Gene Kelly caught fever from doing the Singing in the Rain dance sequence, which took 3 days to shoot, and the water shrunk Kelly's suit, and you can see that. All the lead actors found making the film a miserable experience. In the scene towards played by Debbie Reynolds, is singing to dub her voice while Lena mimes the song on stage. Now, there's a scene, she's singing, Kathy is singing behind the curtains, while Lena is singing on stage. So Kathy's providing the voice. Now, in fact, Debbie Reynolds wasn't singing her lines either. That voice, Debbie Reynolds' voice, in turn was provided by yet another singer, Betty Noyes. The film is a comprehensive story about some real technical difficulties that the silent era producers had to overcome to get into talkies, and it tells this story in quite a funny way, I think. The whole film is way overproduced, but of course that was the style back then. 1952, Singing in the Rain. Have a very good Friday, have a very good weekend. Thank you very much.